Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be talking about the interior angles of a polygon. So last day we did some review about just some angle laws and the sum of a triangle, how that's 180, that sort of stuff. And today we're going to get into some new material that you likely haven't seen before unless you've already taken this course. Okay, so let's talk about the interior angles of a polygon. So what is a polygon? A polygon is a shape that has three or more sides, right? So for example, a triangle is a polygon. And actually that one you already know. You already know that a triangle, that the angles inside of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, right? That we already know. Now, what's a regular polygon? A polygon that has all sides and all angles equal, right? So, for example, the equilateral triangle would be an example of a regular polygon because all three sides and all three angles of an equilateral triangle are equal. So, that's good. Now, what's the formula for the degrees inside a polygon? It's going to be n minus 2 times 180, where n is the number of sides in the shape. So let's test that with the shape we already know, with 3, right? With a shape with 3 sides, like a triangle. If we plug in 3 to n, then we get 3 minus 2, which is in brackets, so we solve that first, going back to our order of operations. So 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 times 180 is 180, and that is what we knew previously for it to be. But this formula works for all different ones, right? So if I wanted to know how many degrees are in a polygon with 10 sides, right, a decagon, I could plug 10 into here for n and solve, and that would tell me the number. Okay, and so we're able to find the sum of the interior angles for all sorts of different shapes. Here they're going to give us an example. With 8 shapes, n is equal to 8, so we have 8 minus 2 times 180, which is 6 times 180, which is 1080 degrees. So that means an 8-sided polygon, it would have, or an octagon, I should say, a shape with 8 sides is called an octagon, that an octagon is going to, okay. And then we can do the same thing with a 5-sided polygon, which is called a pentagon. So a pentagon has 540 degrees amongst all 5 interior angles. So here we can use what we learned to find x, right? We know all of these ones, and we know that this is a 6-sided shape, right? If we count the sides, there's 6 sides. So what we need to first do is find out how many degrees do all the interior angles add up to here, right? And they add up to 720 degrees according to this formula, right? If we plug this in, we get 720 degrees. Then we can add all these up to 720, subtract the rest of them off, and we get that x is 112. So it's the same thing we did with the triangle, except this time we have more sides, right? We have more sides and more angles, so there's just more to subtract off rather than before. There's only 2 sides to subtract off from 180. And of course, the other difference is that since it's a 6-sided shape, then the angles aren't going to add up to 180. They're going to add up to 720 according to the same formula that we can use to figure out that adding up the 3 sides of the triangle, or the 3 angles in the triangle, will get us to 180. Awesome. Okay. Example 3 says, determine one interior angle of a regular polygon with 12 sides. So how would we approach this? Well, a regular polygon means all the sides are the same, and therefore all the angles are the same. So if we find out how many all of them all together add up to be, we can divide that by 12 and get the answer for one interior angle, right? Because all the interior angles are the same. And so the total is going to be split evenly amongst all 12. So first we put 12 in here, right? We put 12 in here, and we get 10 times 180, which is 1800. So that means that the total of all the interior angles of a 12-sided regular polygon is 1,800. So what we must do is we must divide that by 12 to get what each angle would be, right? Because this 1,800 is split evenly amongst all 12 of these interior angles, right? Because it's a regular polygon, so all the angles are the same. So we divide by 12 and we get 150. So therefore, every angle in the shape is 150 degrees. Very good. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead to the homework. So this homework basically asks similar questions to what we've done here. I'm actually going to go through 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. So I'm going to do one of each. Oh, and 6A. I'm going to do one part of each of the homework, and then I will leave the rest to you guys to actually do for homework, okay? So the first one says 2. What is the sum of the interior angles of a polygon with each number of sides? So for 7 sides, remember the formula was n minus 2 times 180. In this case, it would be 7 minus 2 times 180, which is 5 times 180, which is, let's grab a calculator and figure it out. That's going to be 900 degrees, and so that's the answer, okay? So all you've got to do is use the same formula for 10 sides and 24 sides to find the answers for those as well. But like I said, I will leave the other two to you for homework. Okay, what about number 3A? Well, first things first, we've got to count the number of sides. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 5-sided shape. So we first now need to find out how many degrees in total in a 5-sided shape. So in a 5-sided shape, it would be 5 minus 2 times 180, which is 3 times 180, which is 540 degrees. Okay, so 540 degrees, and then we must subtract 90 and 143 and 77 and 103 to get the remaining, right? So 540 degrees minus 90 minus 143 minus 77 minus 103, and that's going to be our answer. So let's do it. Okay, 540 minus 90 minus 143 minus 77 minus 103. Punch that in your calculator and you will get 127 degrees. So that's going to be our answer for that one. And you can use the same method for all these other ones. First, count the number of sides, then figure out how many degrees all of the angles inside that is going to add up to, and then subtract off the other angles and you will have your x. Okay, let's move on to this one. Determine the measure of one interior angle in a regular polygon with each of these number of sides. So the first one is 5 sides. So first off, in order to find the interior angle of one angle, we need to first find what are all the interior angles added up together supposed to be, right? So let's do that first. We need to do 5 minus 2 times 180, which is 3 times 180, which is 540, which actually we just solved up here as well, the same thing. And now we want to know what's the measure of one of these 5 sides if it's a regular polygon. Remember, regular polygon means all the angles and all the sides are the same. So we can divide it by 5 because we know that it's all evenly distributed, right? So now we have 540 divided by 5, which is 108 degrees. So therefore, the measure of each interior angle of a 5-sided polygon or a pentagon would be 108 degrees. Good. All right, so then for number 5, they ask very much the same question, I think, except instead of telling you how many sides there are and telling you it's regular polygon, they show you, right? They show you by having all of these little lines. These lines are showing that it's regular because they indicate that all the sides are the same. And then we can also count how many sides there are. There are 6 sides this time, which makes sense. If they'd given us another one with 5 sides, we could just copy down the answer from above, but we can't do that. So in this case, there are 6 sides. So first we need to find out how many angles, how many degrees all of these add up to altogether. So that would be 4 times 180, which is 720. Then we must do 720 divided by 6 because there are 6 sides, and we know that all the angles are the same, right? There's 6 angles and 6 sides, and all the angles are the exact same, as are all the sides. So we divide by 6, we get 120. So that means x is equal to 120, along with all the other angles for that matter. Very good. All right, now we'll do 6a. So this is a little bit of a trickier one, but once we kind of break it down, I think we can get it. First of all, how many sides does this shape have? That's always the first question you've got to ask yourself. So that part is easy. All we got to do is count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 5-sided shape, right, or a pentagon. Now, we already calculated actually earlier twice that pentagons have interior angles adding up to 540. So that means all these angles, 64 plus 3x plus 86 plus 110 plus 2x, are equal to 540 degrees, right? Now we've got to add up and collect like terms. So 3x plus 2x is 5x, right? And then what's 64 plus 86? Plus 110. If we put those in our calculator, we'll get 260, and that's equal to 540. Then we do 540 minus 260 to get 280. So 5x is 280. And then if we divide by 5, we're going to end up with 56. And that's going to be our answer. And there we have it. Awesome. Okay. So there we go. We're all done. Good work today, everyone. I hope you learned a lot from this. I know this was a lot to take in, but the good thing is once you get the hang of these, you'll realize all the questions that can be asked about this are pretty much all the same. It's pretty much just, find the number of sides and then, use that to figure out how many, how many degrees all the interior angles add up to be, and then use that information to find whatever it is they're asking for is the good thing. So all these kinds of questions, once you really think about it, they're kind of all pretty much the same steps, same methods. But yeah, that said, good work today, and I will see everyone for the next one. Bye, everyone.